All right, some more tricks and tips for doing text layout. Notice that I rotated the word imperfect to make it 90 degrees going this direction. I did that by clicking on this little rotation tool right here. Now, there's a lot of things you can do here. If you click on spacing, you have the option to control the letter spacing. This is one of my favorite tools when I'm doing text layout. I can make the text space out like this. Now notice that my text is getting cut off. That's because the box isn't big enough. So I'm just going to make it a little bigger. You want the text and the graphic to connect in some way. So for this one, I'm going to make the text bigger. You might have to type in a size if the size is not appearing in the box. So I'm just adjusting that. What I'm trying to do is make the text so that it actually overlaps on the arm or goes underneath the arm maybe. So I am doing that, and I think I need to change the spacing a little bit. I actually kind of like that. It's pretty close to the edge. I might change the spacing just a little. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Now, I think I want this text to go underneath of the graphic, so I can actually change the order of these things by if I right click or control click, depending if you're using a Mac or a PC. Right click, imperfect. Now I can go ahead and say send to back, and now that text is going to be behind the graphic. Let me move it so you guys can see that. Sorry. 1 second. So what that does is it makes it interact with the graphic instead of just leaving it kind of separate. So that's a really good trick to doing text layout, is having it somehow connect or touch the graphic. That way they feel like they're part of the same layout. I'm also going to play around with my text and make it have some meaning related to the message here. So I'm going to take part of the word perfectly. I'm actually just going to duplicate this whole thing by clicking the duplicate button. You can also do copy paste. I'm going to move the we are all just for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the first, I'm just going to leave per, break it up by syllable here. And then I'm going to leave the rest of it thickly. And what I'm going to do is just to play around with the meaning of this, because if we make the word less than perfect, kind of increases the meaning like that. And the other thing that does what I just did was it leads your eye to read it the way you want the reader to read it. So perfectly, right? And then it brings us to the beginning of the word imperfect, perfectly imperfect. So that's another way to play around with the meaning, like by just changing a little bit, altering the text. I can also use alignment tools to get these to line up. I want we are all to be aligned, so I'm just going to click and drag to highlight these three objects. And then over here where it says position, I am now going to try the center here, and it moves the text so they're all centered. I could also do a left alignment if I wanted to. I could also play around with spacing here. I can do vertical spacing and get them distributed so that they're evenly spaced from each other. All right, I'm going to tweak the text a little bit more till I get it to look the way I want it to. And then I'm going to have one more video that's going to show you how to add some other little design elements to your poster.